Ability to achieve anything. Protagonist attracts strong allies. Following a student, he remembers an absent mate sent him the link to a game the previous night. Upon startup, a fellow classmate, Kyoto, cries for him to not open it, but it was simply too late. Opening the link triggered a snakebite, followed by our protagonist being rushed to the school's infirmary. Upon waking up, Kaname is asked to sign a release form. Still hazy, our protagonist drops the pen beneath the counter, only to pick it up and finish the paperwork. Heading out, he's greeted by his mates, with Kyoto acting awfully suspicious. Demanding Kaname not touch the app and head straight home, Kyoto leaves abruptly. Ending the scene, we see the nurse notice an additional identical pen on the floor. Riding the train home, Kaname gets curious about the snake that appeared and bit him. Relaunching the application, he's notified of a banda person he's now dueling. Lifting his head, he realizes he's not alone. With a kitchen knife, a mascot approaches him, backing Kaname into a corner. Beginning to stab at Kaname, the mascot's blows are blocked with Kaname's bat. Running into a police station, Kaname attempts to get the police officer to assist, but the officer is cut down, revealing the mascot's sigil as invisibility. The two stumble into a nearby car park. Having used their blood trail to mislead the killer for a bit, they hide in a corner of the car park. Realizing that there is no way to call an ambulance for Kyoto, Kaname is messaged by another player, Shuka. Accepting Shuka's offer to speak in person, Kaname bikes to the designated location. Entering a factory, Kaname greets the gorgeous Shuka. Offering to answer any one question Kaname has, Kaname asks how to exit Darwin's game. Replying to Shuka mentions that such a task is impossible, or at least not to her knowledge. Announcing that she'll now kill him. For his incompetence and annoyance he brought a bag filled with unknowns, Kaname replies with a flashbang. Darting for the exit, Kaname senses something approaching from behind, ducking. With Shuka remotely closing the exit on him, he witnesses as she begins to control spiked chains to move her body through midair. Checking other doors, Shuka announces that every opening has been remotely locked, whilst also turning on the factory's lights. Now in broad daylight, Shuka lunges at Kaname with her chain spike. Pulling out a stun stick, Shuka uses her sigil to remove and destroy the stick. Having found a hiding spot, Kaname attempts to remember the feeling, chalking it up to something like breathing. With deep breaths, he's able to activate his sigil. With the use of Shuka's mirror, she's able to peek around corners, spotting Kaname's gun. Punching on him, she realizes that she had been distracted. In the meantime, the lights turn off due to Kaname cutting off wires in the wall. With his eyes adjusted to the darkness, he rushes at Shuka. With minor cuts, he materializes a stun stick, paralyzing Shuka. Refusing to end her life, he forces her to concede and join his team. Passing out from exhaustion, Kaname wakes up the next day. In shock, he observes a nude Shuka asking to start a family together. Heading out, Kaname learns that Darwin's game has a point system that can be used to purchase safety, in-game items, or even money in the real world. Agreeing to meet back tomorrow, Kaname agrees to team up with Shuka. The next day, upon visiting whilst on their date, Kaname leaves Shuka, whilst she's trying on new clothes. Whilst on his phone, Kaname has it stolen by another player, asking him to follow them in exchange for his phone back. Stopping at an alley, the mystery player initiates a duel, easily landing a punch on Kaname and bringing him to his knees. Underestimating Kaname, our protagonist materializes a stun stick charging at the mystery man, only for him to dash away. Having picked the attacker's phone, Kaname threatens to destroy it, which will delete the player registered to the phone from the world. Now with a 2 vs 1 our mystery player concedes, revealed to be Inukai from the boxing club in the same school as Kaname. Just then a game event is triggered, with the three being transported to a game zone. Kaname is separated from Shuka. With the moderator announcing the rules, Kaname is informed of a 300-player battle royale game. With there only being 300 rings, players can only live if they finish the game with minimum 3 rings and no one is allowed outside the designated zone. Making use of the app, Kaname locates a ring. Heading outside his room, he realizes there have already been players eliminated. Using the app to scan for rings, he notices the rings on the move are players. Avoiding the use of the elevator, as it's an obvious trap, Kaname runs to the stairway. With someone approaching, Kaname ducks just in time, before being sprayed by a machine gun. Running down the stairway, Kaname realizes that there is some sort of tree trunk blocking his descent. Trying another stairway, he soon realizes that there is no escape. Heading for the elevator, he continues to monitor the attacker with his phone only to realize it's too late. Tossing his ring to the attacker, he reasons that killing players is not beneficial, only to have the attacker's rifle jam. Attempting to threaten the attacker with his own gun, the attacker fixes and reaims his rifle at the shaken attacker. With the elevator door opening, the attacker lowers his rifle and enters the door, stating that Kaname is not worth his bullets. Cutting to some sponsors of Darwin's game, they are seen betting on the players, with Shuka in first with 6 rings and Wong, the leader of the 8th gang, in second with 5 rings but a total of 17 rings including his clan. Following Shuka, we see her make her way towards the hotel. Back at the hotel, we see that Kaname and Rain have teamed up, with Rain revealing, the person most likely behind the plant traps is the florist. Whilst chatting about possible escapes apart from the elevator, Kaname realizes that the body in the elevator had not disappeared, therefore there is a chance that they are still alive. Rushing back to the elevator, Kaname and Rain are shocked to see the bodies entangled in plants. With a zombie-like moment, the bodies begin firing at Kaname and Ring. Ducking for cover, Rain and Kaname track the bodies with the phone. As the bodies have rings, Kaname realizes that the florist is watching over the hotel from the control room. Making their way through the hotel, Kaname continues to blow out the security cameras, ultimately settling in one of the rooms. Rain then reveals her ability, able to foresee the future a couple of seconds ahead of time. With them beginning to scheme a plan, the florist begins to control his 4 men. Having 2 men stationed at 2 stairwells, the remaining 2 begin checking each individual room. Using his deduction, he narrows down the room to 1. Busting in, they hear a loud explosion from one of the stairwells. Having guessed wrong, we see Rain blowing open the roots, closing off the stairwell. The items she uses are purchased from the in-game store. Dashing up the stairs, she makes use of flashbang and stun stick, provided by Kaname, along with her foresight sigil to avoid incoming bullets. With the florist noting he hasn't seen Kaname, he realizes that Kaname has made it to his floor, the bottom floor. Having jumped out a window and scaled the wall, Kaname was able to reach the control floor undetected. Greeting Kaname, the florist covers himself in plants. With every strike, the florist is able to shatter the concrete floor easily. Making use of his sigil, Kaname manifests a machine gun, only to have the bullets do little to no damage to the florist's armor. Having used his sigil too many times, Kaname makes use of a flashbang before fleeing. Unable to escape, the florist catches up, cornering Kaname. With nothing left but death staring at him, Kaname hears a hammer sound. Witnessing a blacksmith crafting weapons, Kaname listens to the blacksmith. Recommending he sacrifice the lifespan of the gun for damage, Kaname makes use of the last ounces of his sigil. Coming to the florist is seen flat on the ground, with Kaname holding him at gunpoint. Admitting defeat, the analyst joins in revealing the florist's true name to be Ichiro Hiragi. Sparing his life, Kaname suggests the 3 join forces in order to rival the 8 clan, who's slowly been gathering more rings. With the 3 forming a team, they recruit the gunman from Kaname's first encounter, Ryuji now longer being under the florist's control and hearing that the 8th clan is part of the event. Just then, Kaname is messaged by Shuka, asking for help. Alarmed, the gang rushed to her rescue. With the florist and the analyst stationed at the hotel, we follow Kaname and Ryuji travel to an underground subway, where Shuka's was last heard from. Arriving at the subway, the 2 stumble upon a girl lost. Using his sigil, Ryuji is able to determine the girl is not lying and ignores her. With Kaname rushing into the water-filled subway to save Shuka, Ryuji reveals that he lied to Kaname and that the girl did lie, knowing something that he doesn't. Using her water sigil, she freezes Ryugi's gun running off. With the girl, Sui, hiding, she's seen to be talking to a mystery person, Soda. With Ryugi entering the location the girl's been hiding, we see him surrounded by water. As the young lady attempts to kill Ryugi, we see her stop herself, as if she was fighting with another personality. Back with Kaname, we see him break a wall, just in time to catch a drowning Shuka. Forced to give mouth to mouth. Shuka is delighted to see Kaname, thanking him with a kiss. As they make their way to the surface, she mentions she wants to seek revenge on the person that killed her parents. Reconvening with Ryugi, we find out that Sui and Soda share the same body. Apologizing for hurting Shuka, they recruit her into their team. With that, the next event begins, having a diamond ring spawn at their hotel. With the 8th clan notified of this, they head out to claim the ring. Meanwhile, the florist intercepts their attack, stalling them for as long as possible whilst the analyst makes a break for it. Having realized there was a hidden mission, she heads towards the hidden coordinates, leading to Shibuya Station. With the florist running from a fire user, we see him outnumbered when a Kai user bursts through an open window. Punching a hole through the florist, he lies on the ground. Making use of some bombs, the florist is able to escape barely, with the use of his plants holding his heart together. Able to lure the fire and Kai user around a corner, the florist says his final words as he brings down the building, bidding farewell to his sick daughter. Back with the analyst, she realizes the station is swarming with players, including the 8th clan. Attempting to avoid their capture, she's cornered by Wong, the leader. Playing with her, she attempts to bargain with him only for him to break one of her arms. With nothing left, she begins to recite a story, at the boredom of Wong and his clan. Having stalled long enough, the clan is flashed as spiked chains appear. When Kaname and the gang arrived, they rescued the analyst. Offering information on the secret mission, Kaname is ignored and forced to fight with the clan. As the battle erupts, Ryugi is seen hunted by Wong, whilst Shuka and Sui begin picking away at the forces. Having realized the answer to the puzzle, the analyst makes her way to Kaname. Having surprised Ryuji, Wong is able to slice off one of Ryuji's arms. Completely vulnerable, Ryuji decides to take his own life along with everyone in the nearby vicinity, only to be stopped, offering to give Kaname the key to a security deposit box that holds the final prize. Kaname, having persuaded Wong, tosses the key to distract him, only to access a nearby machine entering the final code to the event. That instant the event is deemed completed, with Kaname as the winner. With everybody being transported out, Kaname is called by the game master. Rewarding with points, the game master offers to grant any one wish Kaname desires. Before ending the call, the game master gifts Kaname with the fire god of iron, an upgrade to current sigil. Back in the real world, Kaname has formed a new clan, the Sunset Ravens. Attempting to ally with the Danjo Boxing Club, the leader challenges Kaname to test his strengths. During their sparring match, the rank 1 player interrupts them and kidnaps Kaname. Having their leader stolen, the Sunset Ravens immediately chase after. Having caught up, the analyst uses her foresight to predict the movement of the enemy's car, blasting one of their tires. Meanwhile, Shuka is able to duel with the kidnapper, Lu Shuilin, stalling for Sui to freeze another one of Lu's tires. Having pulled the car to a halt, Lu is ultimately forced to surrender and join Kaname. Arriving home, Kaname is informed that one of his friends from school has been taken hostage by the 8th clan. Given the location, the Sunset Ravens scout the surrounding area, allowing for law enforcement to initiate first. Whilst the 8th clan is distracted with the police, Kaname gets his friend to sign up to Darwin's. With a newly sigil, telekinetic abilities, his friend begins knocking his captives unconscious, rushing at Wong. Back with Kaname, we see the gang slowly pick away the 8th clan only for Kaname and Ryuji to enter. Greeted by Wong, Kaname is pissed to realize Wong didn't keep his friend alive. Letting Shuka take on Wong, Ryuji and Kaname begin hunting down his lackey. Back with Shuka, we see Wong use his ability. Able to teleport 10 meters anywhere within his vicinity and able to cleave anything within 1 meter radius, he charges at Shuka, only to have his leg cut off. Teleporting behind her, he's surprised to have his arm cut off. Realizing the Shuka had trapped her surroundings, he's tied up. With his final trump card, he switches places with Shuka. Having her tied up, he teleports in for the finishing blow, only to have his other hand cut off. Completely helpless, he crawls only to kneel before Kaname. Admitting defeat, the Sunset Ravens claim everything the 8th clan have, even their lives. Thanks for watching. Check out one of our other videos. Like, comment and